Welcome to the Trail Playbook video guide of the Ridge and Flow Loop at Soquel Demonstration State Forest. This 14-mile loop has 2,000 feet of climbing and is important to note the last 4 miles is uphill back to the parking area. This video breaks down the loop into 1, the initial climb with some pointers of turns to make, 2, the ridge trail going into the tail a technical section in the middle, and then 3, full length, uninterrupted, all 6 segments of the flow trail. The initial climb to the ridge trail is 5 miles with 1,300 feet of elevation gain on a mix of paved and dirt roads. 2 things to look for on the climb. At 2 miles in, turn right onto Buzzard Lagoon Road. At 3 miles, turn right onto the Aptos Creek Fire Road at the White Gate. This continues through the Forest at Nizene Marks. And yes, that does sound like it's from a Tolkien novel. The ridge trail. With the initial climb out of the way, this is a 2-mile approach to the flow trail with a net 500 feet of elevation drop. It's a mix of pedaling, fast swoopy turns, and a bit of technical that will get unpacked in detail. Heading into the ridge trail, you can see the trailhead sign to the right and an opportunity to start picking up some speed. Although the trail looks tight here, it is simply foliage into the first right-hand bank turn. The sign on the right simply shows leaving the forest at Nizene Marks and entering Soquel Demonstration State Forest with some trail distance markers. Riding to the outside and high on the ridge trail is a great opportunity for speed and efficiency, as illustrated by that right-hand bank turn. And coming up, again high into the outside of this left-hand bank turn. To the left is an optional feature for a jump. Again, pushing to the outside and keeping good speed. One thing to note along the ridge trail is a general lack of understory and foliage. That's because this is a major fire break for the surrounding communities, and during the winter of 2019-2020, CAL FIRE contractors and staff were out here clearing the forest out to where you have great visibility and lines of sight now. A fork in the road, my preference is to go right. This is new trail that is fun, swoopy, better built, and more sustainable than the options to the left. Simply stay to the far left here to avoid making a dirt angel and falling off to the far side of the trail. There is an optional log jump on the right line, as shown here, into a hard right bank turn, heading uphill to the intersection with the corral trail on the right. The ridge trail continues to the left, picking up some speed through this turn, and then an opportunity to pick up a lot of speed into this hard left turn, beginning of an S turn. Another opportunity to stay high and smooth on the far left, but I missed it. This video shows me going down the middle into an uphill with some high quality pedaling. Once again, great lines of sight thanks to that amazing fire break work. past few minutes have been relatively straightforward with some pedaling. However, coming into here is a loose S-turn with a flat corner. Then picking up some more speed. Into a quick downhill. You can make a little bit of a jump. Into the steepest and most technical part of the climbing on the Ridge Trail. The line through this section does frequently change thanks to lots of traffic, the different seasons, and cycles of trail work. But my best recommendation is keep your head up and keep pedal, pedal, pedal to make it through here just fine. Continuing uphill, a little detail about Soquel Demonstration State Forest. It is one of 8 demonstration forests operated by CAL FIRE, owned since 1988, with a history of logging operations here, both past and present. The area is also geologically active, and the Sulphur Springs road climb that one can use for additional laps is aptly named. This forest is used as an experiment in artificial reforestation, a way to show better practices in forest management, like mountain biking. Cresting this part of the trail, take a deep breath, let a sigh out to know you're alive. The hardest part of the climbing of the Ridge Trail is done, and coming into the most fun, fast, and technical portions of this trail. Coming out of this tight left-hand bank turn, stay high to the left of the trail, over that jump, and then over another log jump. Picking up a lot of speed with some tight turns through the trees. Into some off-camber rocks, then riding up high over this reroute around that log into the fastest part of the trail, and also the most technical part after jumping this rock. And this looks interesting. Let's break it down. Breaking down this technical section, coming in, it may look like the line is to the far left, but this forces a hard right turn, shedding a lot of speed into a flat, sandy transition before some downhill rocks and roots. This line is annotated in red as it can be done, but there are a lot of inefficiencies and potential places to dab. Another way to approach this is to the far right of the trail. There is plenty of space beneath the deadfall tree and some armored up rocks just to the left of the tree on the far side of the trail. Looking at both lines uphill from the other side of these trees, you can see the efficiency of heading under the deadfall tree, skipping a hard turn, and another turn on loose soil. It's also worth mentioning that everything in the middle involves even more turning, running the risk of slow speed handling issues. From the rock jump, showing the left red line, you can see pushing left, shedding speed in the turn, shedding more speed in the flat transition, and then into the rocks and roots. From the rock jump, now showing the right blue line, pushing to the right of the trail, hugging the tree over the armored up roots and rocks, then keeping good speed into the downhill roots and rocks, into this hard right turn, continuing along the trail. Some loose off-camber soil here where the trail routes around a big stump. Rejoining the hard pack and picking up some speed into some more terrain where again that smooth line is off to the side of the trail. Approaching a trail junction on the left at these oak trees, here's something you might not have known. There's a bench on the other side of the trees overlooking Monterey Bay in Santa Cruz. This is a great place to catch a rest and be socially distant. Continuing the trail junction with Sulphur Springs Road and the helipad the other side of these trees. This is where you would climb back up to do a second lap. You have a hard right turn into a berm, followed by a left turn into a little bit of pedaling as you continue along the ridge trail. One subtle yet cool thing about the ridge trail through here is the relic of a fence line to the left that you can see the posts and the ruins of the barbed wire. Picking up speed, noting that smooth line to the high outside part of the turn, into another hard right turn with some rocks and some rather inconvenient places, and some fun swoopy parts here. Just don't look at those trees. Again, pointing out how much smoother and efficient the trail is up high into the outside. Staying again high into the outside. Just don't look at those trees. Into another high and outside part for speed and efficiency. The left is a playful and fun rock and root to pop up of. Coming up to a deadfall tree, you can simply roll over. Picking up speed again to a quick downhill section. High into the outside, again, is that smooth and efficient line. Coming into a bit more technical here. Approaching intersection to the Braille Trail, on the left is a seesaw that is rarely in the correct position. A log jump that is great to practice your airborne skills.
You okay?
Into another optional jump, banking into a regular turn. There is a route here that is best to pop over going uphill. And then with a bench to the left and a nice clearing is the entrance to the flow trail on the right. Now it's time for the main event, the flow trail. It's 3 miles of smiles with 1,200 feet down. Before diving into the video of all 6 segments, one thing to note is the trail parallels and frequently crosses a fire road. You can use this to pedal partially back up and session individual segments of the trail. Diving into flow segment 1 of this full-length video with a few notes. 1, this video was recorded in July, so the trail is dry with loose over hard conditions and starting to get bumpy, as you can see coming into this corner. 2, GoPro image stabilization is off. This helps with appreciation of the trail conditions. 3, I won't be talking about lines and speed per se, but calling out features. This trail is fun at any ability level, pace, and bike. Indeed, I have ridden this on everything from a 160mm Enduro 29er rally wagon, such as the Santa Cruz Mega Tower is ridden in this video, a 29er hardtail, and even a gravel bike with drop bars and 700x40C tires. In short, run what you brung and have fun. Some facts about the flow trail. It opened in 2015, representing over 6,000 hours by over 500 volunteers to build. It is purposely built as a novice-friendly trail, but as we saw with the Ridge Trail, it takes fitness and effort to access. It's also super popular. As of August 2020, there are over 18,000 different people who have attempted this trail logged on Strava alone, and on any given weekend day, several hundred people will ride this trail. Coming out of this turn is a low, but not so low you have to duck deadfall, which is a good reminder of a tabletop jump, followed by another jump that are a lot of fun to hit. This little bit of uphill starts a transition in segment 1 of the flow trail into a turn, with a little bit more uphill, with a bank right turn where you can stay up high. With a quick downhill into a right turn. This is the closing moments of segment 1 of Flow Trail, which is the longest in terms of distance and time of the 6 segments. Coming into a right-hand turn where the sign for segment 2 is on the right. In segment 2, the trail is tighter with higher berms and transitions between the turns, which makes it a lot of fun. Crossing the fire road here is where you have the first of several turns that link together with great transitions in between. So sloping left into a sloping right, followed by another sloping left, through some trees, into a sloping right turn. Then a tabletop, into a transition, and another sloping turn. Welcome to Flow segment 2. Flow segment 3 starts with this right-hand turn across a plank bridge with more swoopy high berm turns and fun features. Coming into a hard right turn with pavers into a well-built plank bridge. The trail straightens up and widens out, coming into a pedally section for the closing moments of flow segment 3, approaching a large clearing and great place to take a break halfway down the trail. Coming into the clearing and fire road crossing, again, great place to take a break for flow segment 4, resuming downhill, where for the remainder of the flow trail, it is wider, more open, and faster through segments 4, 5, and 6. Approaching segment 5, crossing a fire road with a plank bridge on the left is one of the most interesting portions to link up in terms of features. A downhill left turn into a right berm, uphill, followed by a jump that is bigger on the left, another jump into a berm, followed by a jump into the trees. That's a great example of how multiple features on the trail can link up. And whether you're aiming for speed, style, or simply smiles, it's where it becomes ultimately enjoyable because you can find ways to stitch those together for maximum fun. Here's another example where several features come together. A left turn followed by another left turn with space on the sides of the trail into a tight tree, another tree with a root into a hard right berm. Again, piecing all those sequences together can be really interesting. Much like the closing moments of segment 3, segment 5 wraps up, where the trail becomes more open and also a great opportunity to pedal, pedal, pedal. Segment 6 starts again with a clearing and a fire road crossing and the trail to the right for the last part of the flow trail. This feature on the right can be doubled, coming up on a series of flat left and right turns. Into a feature, you can boost for some air, downhill into a swooping berm right-hand turn, then some more flat turns. Several fun features that link together here. A right-hand berm directly into a left berm, then into a right berm with a transition to the left, an opportunity for 2 jumps, an opportunity for some big air as the trail straightens back out into a flat set of turns. A approaching a right-hand bank turn that turns downhill. Here is a downhill that's almost a G out that turns right-hand with a transition on the left, back into some flat turns, into a paver and plank bridge crossing. Wrapping up the final moments of the flow trail with a few flat turns and opportunity to pedal, pedal, pedal before joining Hines Mill Road, which is nearly 4 miles of net uphill with the last 3/4 of a mile descent to the parking area being downhill. Finishing this video with the importance of supporting local trails. The Flow and Saw Pit trails throughout Soquel Demonstration State Forest are built and maintained by Mountain Bikers of Santa Cruz, a 501c3 nonprofit and highly skilled professional trail stewardship organization. If Demo is your hometown shred spot, consider getting involved supporting MBOSC. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope this is helpful for the general and specific detail of ridge and flow, and if you like, please hit subscribe.